Welcome to Natural Living. I'm Renee Miller. I created this show to open a door into the world of natural lifestyles that help us achieve a sense of balance and well-being. Join us as we talk to people whose professions encourage us down the road to a happy life. Looking at a catalog of something to do in the evenings and walk into a class.
She teaches, and she suggested it might be a good place for me to come stretch out.
It just makes you feel so much more relaxed. You forget about everything that's gone on through the day.
My chiropractor suggested it would be a good idea to strengthen my low back. Kind of tight, and then I noticed that throughout the weeks I just got more flexible.
A gentler way of exercising and the mind-body.
I think I wanted the meditation experience.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Natural Living. I'm Renee Miller. About 20 years ago, I walked into a beginner's yoga class, and it changed the entire trajectory of my life. Through practicing yoga, I learned about strength, flexibility, balance, and I also learned how to feel calmer by stilling my mind. Today, we are going to be speaking with a yoga teacher here in Bridgewater, Massachusetts, and we've got Deandra Bergman here. Welcome, Dee, to the program.
Good morning, thank you.
Yoga opened my eyes to a whole new way of doing things. Are some of the ways you practice yoga not physical, or some of them just mental, or is it all tied to a physical practice?
It starts with a physical practice, but it's all tied and leading toward meditation, quiet, well-being, peace of mind.
I see. And you feel that way yourself most of the time. When you started yoga, did you have a particular issue that you were addressing, or did you just start it kind of like I did by looking at a catalog of something to do in the evenings and walk into a class? What brought you to the practice?
I think I wanted the meditation experience. External stuff was temporary for me. All things on the outside, anything you do from the outside in doesn't last. And so I wanted to have something that was lasting. So I started with a meditation, and I found chanting and singing for me was a way to get into quiet my mind. Everybody has their own process. The body part was just secondary. I didn't really arrive at that.
So you weren't looking for an exercise class at the time? Or...
No.
What is yoga?
Yoga, by definition, is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. So thinking about that, with that said, and calming the mind with our own breath and using that quality of breath to also detoxify the body. One of my favorite quotes was a writer, and he said, the only difference between fear and excitement is the breath. And when you have mastery of breath, you have balance, peace of mind, joy. So we have a lot more knowing, and we're uncovering layers through the yoga process that allows us to be open and creative and intuitive people that we all are.
Are there different types of yoga that you do, or is there just one type?
And there are several types, and the names of the yoga just are describing the type, what it is. Bhakti is devotional, Kripalu means gentle, Hatha actually means the path of force. You're balancing positive and negative forces, and it's about the body. So yeah, they do represent different aspects of yoga. Yoga is about abundance and wholeness. So if you knew you had enough and there was enough for you, you wouldn't even compete with yourself.
And I really like the feeling of that. And in fact, that part of yoga practice is what has kept me coming back year after year. I don't feel competition with my fellow classmates. I don't feel like, wow, she's really stretching out her leg farther than I am, or I need to be higher in a standing sense than the person next to me. I'm just kind of not even competing with myself. I'm just seeing where I am that day and see if there's any space to move into.
Right, exactly.
What you create during the practice.
The way we approach our practice on the mat is what we take into the world and the way we approach our lives. And with more self-awareness, it's just the ability and the opportunity to accept oneself and correct. We didn't come here perfect, and we don't have to be. But yoga allows us to see ourselves more clearly, and we can correct. That's the process. So that's what's called a practice.
Really like that. That's a great thing to keep in mind. What kind of things can you expect after you've been practicing yoga for a while?
Once the body becomes familiar with different movements, they become muscle memory. The parasympathetic nerves are activated, so you have the awareness in muscle, subconscious mind. You don't need your brain to move through it. The posture is in the same way. Only breath, which leads you through each of the postures. And then you're free to fly. So the balance creates a feeling almost of physics. It is applied physics for balance. Once the body is aligned, the next would be the breath, and the breath begins to detoxify the body. So the body becomes more sensitive, more aware, and the senses are also more in tune. You can train the body to reach comfort zone, which brings you immense joy. So you get to postures where there's a comfort. And I don't want to define it in time because everybody enters a practice from a different place and point for different purposes. So the byproducts are lower blood pressure, relaxation, fit body. But the nervous and central nervous system is affected deeper. In certain postures, you are dealing with specific things. The endocrine system, kidneys, liver. This posture has huge benefits. It's a kidney cleanser. It opens shoulders, mid-back.
Back when yoga first came into popularity, there were a lot of organizations that did not want yoga as part of their program because they thought it might interfere with their spiritual practices or their religious practices. Can you talk to that a little bit?
It is a tricky question because a lot of times you'll find the two seem close together because people awaken a spiritual sense of self or sensitivity and compassion in them that could be equated with a religion or a religious behavior.
So if I'm a Methodist or I'm going to a synagogue, I'm Jewish, and I have a yoga class, how does that dovetail into my lifestyle, or is it completely separate from my beliefs?
I think it's complementary, and that those are contemplative systems and belief systems that yoga would also make you more introspective and contemplative. So it should enhance that depth of
So
your.
no matter what
You do
organization you're affiliated with, it can assist you to go on that
I
path.
think so, and the tolerance for others also increases, so you have, I think, more appreciation. So, you know.
Because you're not so tense about who you are as
Or defending it.
to everyone else in the world.
Or defending your position, you realize, oh, this works for them and this works for me, and we're hey, it's working. That's a good thing in the world. We need more of that.
That's great. I like that. What made you want to become a yoga instructor?
It's my passion, and it has become my lifestyle. So I was trying from the first minute and stayed equally so 20 years later. all know your body's history, so as always, listen to what your body needs this evening. And I'm going to have you use this to help the hips, the edge, and the legs come forward to help straighten out the spine. It should feel more comfortable for you. One thing about yoga postures is you want to reach a place of comfort with them so that we can relax and release the mind. Okay, let's begin. So hands are palms down on the back of the knees, closed eyes or soft focus. Let's tune into the breath. Just begin by softening the belly. And by softening the belly, I mean allow it to expand, filling up the lungs from the bottom to the top. We are breathing in and out through our nose. This helps purify the air we take in and balance the hemispheres of the brain. Let's roll the chin down on the chest. Just release the weight of the head to gravity, letting that neck open up. And tracing the chin along the chest over the right shoulder, lift the head up looking right. And then dropping the chin down nice and slow. Let the head become heavy. Really nice slow. This is your practice. Bring it over to the left shoulder, lift the head up looking left. And then dropping the head down again, front and center. Let's inhale the head up to neutral. Exhale, settling the weight of the body into the hips, the tailbone. Energize that underarm as well. If you'd like to go a little deeper, I invite you to just fold down to the elbow. You don't have to. So listening to what you need tonight. And release by pressing the arm and hand, back hand, other side. Left hand to the floor, following with your gaze. So feet parallel together, or at least hip. Start with shoulder shrugs back. Keeping the chin parallel to the floor and forwards. And coming back to stillness with closed eyes. Let's lift all 10 toes and then place them, feeling the feet firmly planted into the floor. And then inhale, sweeping arms up overhead, opening the eyes. We're going to frame the head with the arms, bringing the right heel in to the left ankle. And finding a focal point in front of you that isn't moving is recommended. You can work that leg up for balance. So the trick here is really keeping a steady gaze and a steady breath. Keep lifting on the fingertips. Let's release it. We're going to step back with your left leg, one of your leg lengths. So the wider the base, the better. The back foot is at a 90-degree angle, so you turn the heel in or out. Tucking tailbone under, bringing the body into five-pointed star. Preparing for warrior two. Inhale. Exhale and deepen. Inhale, straighten. We're going to repeat for three. Exhale, deepen. And again, inhale, straighten. Exhale, deepen. Let's hang out here for three. So your gaze is off those fingertips. Very good. And straighten it. Let's bring the arms, turning the torso forward. So hips facing directly toward me. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, bend it forward. Warrior one. Again. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale it up. Exhale, warrior one. You can bring those palms together, looking up at the thumbs. We're holding only for 3, 2, 1. Straightening the legs, bringing the hands to the heart. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. We're going to hold for 3 here. Excellent. So long. Excellent. 2, 1. Let's straighten it out. And turning, bringing the hands up, turning the hips forward. Again, inhale. Exhale, bend that knee. Warrior one. Straighten it. Give it a rest. Again, on your exhale breath, you're deepening. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, this is our last, so holding, hands, palms together, we're going to hold for 3. Beautiful, these look awesome. All right, and release. Bringing the arms down. Let's bring the hands into prayer. Again, inhale, exhale, bending that front knee. Let's turn it. Right elbow over left knee, looking off the tip of that left elbow.
back to wander, straightening out the leg. If this isn't what your body's comfortable with, beautiful, okay, you listen to your body tonight, okay. And keep breathing into the posture. We're gonna drop that knee down, uncurl the back toe, keeping the front foot flat, gently sitting hips back. So this varies on stretch too. Just keep those arms and hands there to support you. You're getting a little bit of a stretch. And then flex that front foot. Let's bring it back down. We're gonna curl back toe under into the lunge, dropping that back heel we did in the warrior. So can heel reach the floor, get flat, come back to the knee if you're not flat. Okay, bringing that other hand in. And inhale, sweeping that hand around toward the center of the room. Yep, keep your back knee to ground it so you're safe. And continue the circle, bringing back down. Other side. Let's come back to the toe, dropping the foot. I'm going to switch sides. Right leg goes back. Looking at the space between the hands, you're going to bring the left leg up. You can use your hand. Just place the leg there. Lining up fingers and toes again. Curling back toe under, setting up the lunge. So here for safety of wrist too, you work on getting the hands as flat as possible. Drop that back heel down. We're going to bring the left hand into the instep, into the stretch, and circle it around toward the center. Just keep breathing, it'll help you steady. And circling it around. Coming back to the toe, let's drop the knee down, uncurl the toes, sitting the hips back. Anywhere you can. And flexing that left foot. And let's bring left foot back. We're going to sit the hips all the way back on the heels, an extended child. So uncurl the toes, dropping the forehead toward the floor. The modification for this, you can place fists to stack. Sweeping the hands around, palms up to the sides of the body in full child. Shoulders round over, drop the tailbone. Drawing the forehead to the knees, let's slowly uncurl. Coming to hero and hands in namaste. So if it's tough on the knees, come up. You're welcome to come up. Or you can stay here, either or. Inhale it out. Exhale in. Maybe look at each other here. Inhale out. Exhale in. Inhale out. And exhale in. Let's inhale. Cat lift. Hands come forward. Chin up, tailbone up. Exhale, cat, tuck tailbone. Dropping the head down. Releasing back to neutral spine. Curl toes under, coming to a high plank. That looks like the upper end of a push-up. Lowering to the floor. If you need to, you can come to your knees. Either way, keep the elbows tight. And we're going to lower forehead to the mat. Sweep the hands around, palms up. For a locust, you press the hips into the mat, lift knees, toes, chest, shoulders, and arms. Take another breath. Exhale it. Forehead comes back to the mat. Hands, palms down. Slide them to the ribs, keeping the elbows tucked. Let's press it up to an up dog. Listening to your body. Inhale and exhale. Hips back to reverse that curve. It should feel good. Pressing back to all fours. Curl toes under. We're going to take it to down dog. So the hips go up, head goes down. Let's come onto all 10 toes, folding to the knees. Uncurl the toes, and we're going to sit the hips back again. Forehead to the floor. Everyone looks like they're there tonight, so walk the fingertips away, stretching out the shoulders. And we're going to uncurl, forehead to the knees, slowly dragging those arms behind. Stack the vertebrae one at a time, bringing the hands into namaste. Again, breath work. Inhale it out. Exhale. Let's sweep left hand around, reaching for the heel. Right hand comes up, and the gaze is up at the right hand. If this is bothering anyone's knees, you can take your mat, put a fold in it, walk the knees on. All right, to release, sit the hips back, circle it around. Other side, right hand to right heel, and take your inhale breath. Exhale, pressing those hips forward. And again, to release, sit the hips back. Full camel or half, your choice. So you can repeat the left side, or you can do both hands on the heels. Head is optional too. Keep breathing. Same release. Sit the hips back. your time. If it takes longer to set up, take the time. Use the hands to support, inhale it up, and exhale, forehead to the floor. Again, inhale, head's the last to come up, and exhale down. Lengthen that spine as you pull the chin forward. Again, inhaling up. This is our last one. Lengthen, exhale, forehead to the mat for 3, 2, and 1. For eagle pose, right arm crosses under left, and you're wrapping best you can like a rope. The palms come together right in front of you. We're going to start with the arms first. So you're raising and lowering these arms, preferably with your breath. The inhale breath is bringing the arms up, and the exhale breath is down. So that's at your pace. Once these arms are in autopilot, cross the right leg in front of the left, and bend that left knee deep so you're sitting low. The more that knee is bent, as you're ready and steady, you can wrap that right leg behind. So this posture has huge benefits. It's a kidney cleanser.